Chapter 7, Section 5, we are multiplying polynomials, and we're going to start out by multiplying monomials. In the first example, you do 2 times 7, which is 14. X to the first, x to the third is x to the fourth. So 14x to the fourth. In our second example, we are going to do 3 times 5 times this negative, which is a negative 15. Then we have m squared, m, and m to the fifth. 5 plus 1 is 6, plus 2 is m to the eighth. And then n plus n to the third plus n to the second. 2 plus 3 plus 1 is 6. And the third one, guaranteed test question here, something like this. 1/4 times 12 is 3. X squared times x to the third is x to the fifth. So I'm going to cross these out as we get rid of them. Y times y to the fourth is y to the fifth. And z to the second times z to the third is z to the fifth. Number 4, distributing and then writing in standard form. 5 times 3 is 15. X times x squared is x to the third. 5 times 4 is 20. X times x is x squared. And 5 times negative 7 is a negative 35, and then x. Number 5, for r to the second, s to the second, we need to multiply by r and then times 3s. 4r times r is 4r to the third, and then s squared. 4 times the negative 3 is the negative 12, r squared, s to the third. Multiplying a binomial times a binomial, we have two methods. First one is FOIL, and second one is the double distributive property. They're basically the same thing, it's just in which way you prefer to remember them. F stands for first. X times x is x squared. O stands for outside, which is this first one times the last one, which would be 4x. And you see how we distributed the x over both quantities? And now we're going to distribute the 2. This is our inside, which will be a 2x, and the last, which will be an 8. These middle terms can be combined, and you will have x squared plus 6x plus 8. Number 7, y times y is y squared. Outside is 6y. Inside is negative 4y. And last is negative 24. So that becomes y squared plus 2y plus a negative 24. Number 8, we're going to have to rewrite this as x plus 5 times x plus 5. So that becomes x squared plus 5x plus 5x plus 25. X squared plus 10x plus 25. Number 9, 2a times a is 2a squared. 2a times 4b squared is 8ab squared. Inside, negative ab squared. And then last, negative 4b to the fourth. B squared times b squared is b to the fourth. These two can be combined. 8ab squared minus ab squared is 7ab squared. And then negative 4b to the fourth. Number 10, 8m to the third times m to the third is 8m to the sixth. 8m times 8m to the third times a negative 3n to the second is a negative 24. M to the third, n to the second. Then we have a negative m to the third, n to the second. That's what you get when you multiply those two. And then negative times negative is a positive 3, n to the fourth. These two things combine. 8m to the sixth, negative 25m to the third, n to the second. Whoops, yeah, no, that's right. And then 3n to the fourth. The next part, we're multiplying any size polynomial times any size polynomial. And same thing, we just keep distributing and combining like terms. Number 11, we are going to do x times x squared, which is x to the third. X times 4x is 4x squared. And x times negative 6 is negative 6. Negative 5 times x squared is a negative 5x squared. Negative 5 times 4x, I'm going to put it over here, is a 20x. Negative 5 times negative 6 is a positive 30. And when we add these things, you have an x to the third, 4x squared, negative 5x squared is a negative x squared. I'm going to pick up this 20x. 30 plus negative 6 is 24. Number 12, distributing, you have 3x to the fourth. Distributing 12x to the third. And our last distribute will be a negative 21x. Here we will have an x to the third, a 4x squared, and then a negative 7. And when we combine these, you have 3x to the fourth, 13x to the third. For standard form, I'm going to want 4x squared next, negative 21x plus a negative 7. And our last page, as you start doing these, there are some patterns that apply. You'll notice the first 12 questions are all a binomial squared. And if you have x plus y squared, that actually becomes x squared plus 2xy plus y squared. And if you can figure out that pattern, it's great. And if you don't figure out that pattern, you can just write them next to each other and multiply. So first, x squared plus 2x. Second distribute is 2x plus 4. And you see how those terms end up being the same. So you have x squared plus 4x plus 4. Number 2, y plus 7 times y plus 7. First, outside, y squared plus 7y. Inside and last is 7y and 49. You will notice those two are the same, so you end up with y squared plus 14y plus 49. Some of you might be able to look at number 3 and 4 now and say square your first, square your last. And then for the middle term, 5 times x is 5x. You have to double that and get 10x. If you can't do that, keep writing them out and multiplying. Number 4, you might be getting to the point where you can square the first one, square the last one, and then the middle term, 4 times x is 4x, and then you double that. 5 and 6, the numbers get a little bit bigger. It's a little bit harder. You can follow the same pattern. And do the first two as 2x plus 6 times 2x plus 6. First times first is 4x squared. Outside is 12x. Inside is 12x. And last is 36. So this becomes 4x squared plus 24x plus 36. Number 6, again, write it out as 4r plus 3 times 4r plus 3. First will be 16r squared. Outside is 12r. Inside is 12r, and then last is 9. So you end up with 16r squared plus 24r plus 9. And I'm going to skip to 9, 11, and 12, and I'm going to try to do those the shortcut way. 2x times 2x is 4x squared. Negative 3 times negative 3 is 9. In that middle term, you need to do 2 times negative 3, which is negative 6. And you have to double that, which will be a negative 12x. Number 11. 3b times 3b is 9b squared. 2c times negative 2c times negative 2c is a negative 4c squared. In the middle term, negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. You have to double that, which is a negative 12, and then a b and a c. And 12, squaring the first one, you will have m squared. Squaring the last one, 8n times 8n is 64n. And then the middle term, negative 8 times 1 times 2 is a negative 16. We have an m and an n. Now these last 6 are slightly different. One of these is a plus and one of these is a minus. And when you FOIL this, you will have a y squared plus 4y minus 4y. Negative 4 times negative 4 is a negative 16. These two middle terms cancel out, and you have a y squared minus 16. So when one is an addition, one is a subtraction, those middle terms cancel out. Here you will have an m squared plus 2m minus 2m and minus 4. Those two cancel out and you end up with m squared minus 4. Some of you might be able to look at 15 now and just come up with the answer. If you can, that's great. If you can't, just do the same thing. It will be y squared minus 36. 16, we will have p squared negative 8pq. Inside is 8pq. 8q negative 8q is negative 64q. These two things cancel out. So p squared minus 64, sorry, that should be q squared. 17, 2n times 2n is 4n squared. 2n times 7 is 14n. 2n times negative 7 is negative 14n. And negative 7 times negative 7 is 49. These cancel out, and you end up with 4n squared minus 49. And for the last one, I'm going to do the shortcut. We will have 81x squared and then negative 16p squared.